Welcome back, friends. Um, Special episode of the pod today. First one in 2025. I feel like it's pretty exciting. New year, new pod.
Yeah, we're gonna have 20 listeners by the end of the year.
Yeah. Now just completely revamp. We're going with the strategy of reporting. Uh, our fast food analyst, AW analyst, actual reporter. What is Allie's husband? Battle rap reporter,
Yeah, rap man.
rap man. I like it. And then hockey, of course. Can't forget hockey.
Yeah.
And then us just spewing loads of BS.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of New Year, you got any resolutions?
Uh I got on the scale at 252
Damn.
January 1st. Eat thick. The goal is to lose 52 pounds.
So January 1st, when we're doing our next New Year, New Pod episode, you're going to be 200 on the dot.
It's the goal.
That's a good goal. It's a steep goal. It's not impossible. I mean, that's what they say to do for goals is tough, realistic goals. It's definitely tough. Is it realistic? I'd say yes.
Yeah, I mean a pound a week is supposed to be like healthy. 52 weeks in a year, that almost seems perfect.
You got to be consistent though.
Yeah, if you and if you falter, you can't just let that turn into a downward spiral, which I feel like has been my problem in the past.
Right.
Just stay on track, not beat yourself up too much if you fuck up, and just
Right. I mean, you're a human, right? There's going to be days where you're like, you know what? I want some cookies after dinner. Like it's going to happen. And it's not really healthy to just be so strict all the time either. There's going to be fluctuations that you just got to send. Um, but do you have like a plan? Like, so yeah, lose 52 pounds. What's how you going to get there?
well, the start off is the calories. It's 2,200 right now a day, which is pretty easy.
Yeah.
And then I'm just still working on my feet, so building up. I've been going on walks with Marissa, and it hasn't been like too painful. But for the initial part, the goal is to not overdo it and hurt myself more.
Well, for sure, because then you'll be couch ridden and that's
Yeah.
not going to help anything.
But I think I am going to get back into lifting.
You should.
Uh, Maybe not, doing anything crazy heavy or anything, but just for like functional movements.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck losing weight. Let's blow up. Lift heavy, eat thick.
God, if I wanted to get strong, I had 10 years to do it.
Yeah, that 30 is approaching and it's getting to you. It's starting to make you a little nervous, huh?
I'm scared.
Yeah. It's weird. But that's cool. I think lifting will help. Obviously not going in there and squatting for weight, but like, getting some uh, muscular endurance training in and eating right and all that, I think it'll be super beneficial. Um, but yeah, so I don't have like super quantitative goals like you do. Really just kind of build off what I kind of been doing. Just sleep better, I think is one of um my resolutions is not necessarily sleep more because I feel like I get enough sleep, but sleep better. So try and get in my nighttime routine, do all those things I said I was going to do, and then eat healthier. Obviously, we can always eat healthier. I think I'm going to try and steer a little bit away from the chicken and rice healthy, which is like, you know, traditionally what we think of being like gym healthy, that chicken and rice diet, and more like steak and potatoes healthy, where it's more like natural stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think humans were designed to eat grain like that, like
Yeah,
rice.
yeah. No, definitely not in the quantities that.
Right. It's just all like super processed, trying to get away from that processed stuff and just eat like natural things, a lot more vegetables. I think is definitely the route that I'm trying to go. Um, so a follow-up question is obviously getting down to 200 will be big, but when do you think, at what point in your life were you in the best shape of your life?
There's a couple different answers to this.
Mhm.
Like as far as endurance shape, I was in the best shape of my life last year, like running 13 miles.
Yeah.
Um, Muscular fitness was when our first year at UNCW. It was the strongest I ever was. But I would say like best overall shape was probably freshman year of college when I was training. Well, I thought I was trying to play college basketball. That was the goal, at least.
Mhm.
Um, and I was training, 3, 4 days a week with that, lifting a little bit. I was probably like 165, 170. I was in good shape. Could standing vert hang on the rim. I was probably the best shape I ever was in. Now, if I could shoot back then, like I can now, we two-time NJCAA All American.
That'd be cool. Uh, it's funny though, you know, you were more of a driver and a slasher when you were little, and then you get big and you're more of a perimeter player.
Yeah,
It's funny how that works because it was kind of similar for me. I left Wingate, came back, lost a bunch of weight because I wasn't really like strength training. And then all of a sudden I turned into like a slasher, even more so than I was. Um, but yeah, it's just funny how that works.
well, I still think I do, but I always had a quick first step.
Uh-huh.
Like I was never top end fast, even when I
Yeah.
was. But that quick first step and just being like shifty with the ball made it so easy to get to the rim.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly what I want to get back to, being able to do that, because it's pretty frustrating when like a shitty person is guarding you and they're just more athletic than you,
And you
and
just can't go by them.
you just have to like bully them and then they get mad.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry you're a bitch, but like if I could run around you, I would. I don't like playing super physical like that. It's so draining.
It is draining.
When you don't have the speed, you just gotta lean on motherfuckers who don't weigh as much as you.
Yeah. Is that when you would say you were in your best basketball shape as well?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Oh, that or senior year of high school.
Yeah. We're not necessarily best basketball shape, but best at basketball.
I was That's tough because the last year was the best I've felt shooting the ball. Like I would like last year I was honestly fucking nuts in that men's league. I mean, I had a good year this year too, but I was really on some shit. But when we were at UNCW, playing club is probably like best all around as far as shooting and still being able to get to the hoop. My post game was really good at UNCW, I thought, especially passing out of the post. And I could still drive a little bit. I was a good percentage shooter, but I didn't put up a lot of volume like 3 pointers back then. So I would say probably when we were playing club, probably the
Okay.
best I was.
Yeah, I feel like
We
similar for me. Go ahead.
we practiced a lot too. Like we were in the gym every
Every
day.
day. Right. And it's hard not to be your
Yeah.
best self when you're practicing every day. Um, I think for me, running was by far last February. I ran a marathon, and it basically took 8 months off from running after that. I can still run. I ran a 4 mile the other day in freaking 30 minutes. So like I can still run. But just not to that extent. Like it was different. I would go on like 15-mile runs on Monday morning before working all day, and it was pretty absurd. But the strongest I ever was definitely when I was in Poland. Um, And that was just because there was nothing to do other than eat and work out. And I wasn't going to run over there just because I was running through villages of rural Poland. You know what I mean? Um,
Don't want to scare the local pop.
one guy went for a run out there and actually got chased and bit by a dog, and the dog had rabies.
You're telling me, did he get rabies?
No, he had his rabies shot, and then he went back to the hospital right after that, got his rabies shot, so he's fine. But it was like a rabid dog. And I don't know what happened to the dog because technically it's not America. You know what I mean? We can't go in there and take somebody's dog. But yeah, so that little rural street, which was the best place to run, was then banned. But it was a little dog too, like a little yapper, probably like Charlie, old Charles.
Well, if it was Charlie, he would have killed the guy because we get shit done. Um, I think if you get rabies, not if you like get bit by something with rabies, but if you contract rabies, I'm pretty sure you die.
I would imagine. I don't
Like
really
I don't
know.
think like I don't think it's got I think it's got like a 99% kill rate if you contract it.
Yeah, probably. Um, I do. So yeah, like I know that this guy is still alive. I know he got bit by the dog. The story was the dog had rabies. Truthfully,
Right.
is that just some kind of built up thing? Who knows? Probably the dog probably didn't have rabies, but that was the story. Imagine if Charlie had rabies. He was crazy enough.
He's a nutcase, dude. He's nuts.
You know that Charlie is still the contact photo for you on Sam's phone.
Oh, him on the porch.
Yeah.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, it is. Um, but yeah, so strongest was definitely in Poland. I was also the heaviest I've ever been in Poland. I was like 228 or something absurd.
Damn.
Damn. Uh, yeah. Put it on pretty thick out there. Um, and then basketball, I would say at my best was probably playing club or like junior senior year at UNCW, just because the amount of shooting that we just went in there and did, and how much we played pickup. We'd play pickup like at least 4 times a week, and we would shoot every day.
Yeah, that was like we would either warm up with that or we would end with that.
Right. So I think definitely, I mean, it's really not even close. It'd be nice to go in the gym and shoot every day, but it's just a luxury that we don't have, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, playing this past year, and averaging 22 points a game, kind of banged up and only playing that day because my body couldn't handle playing 2 days a week, like playing a pickup and playing in the league.
Yeah.
22 is a win, but I think now the difference is, as opposed to then at UNCW, my confidence is so much higher. Like it's weird. It almost feels like the game slowed down.
Yeah.
Like stuff, like you just see stuff develop more. It's probably just from playing so
More and
much.
more basketball. Yeah.
Like the game is just slower.
Yeah.
Like for me, like in my head. I mean, and literally, I'm literally moving slower. So that could also be playing a part.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like anything. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And it's just that's how it works. Um, but staying on the topic of New Year's, kind of moving away from that. Have you heard of the like superstition of not doing laundry on New Year's Day?
Yeah, we didn't do any cleaning New Year's Day.
Yeah.
We didn't even shower.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me.
I mean, it was just a typical day.
Just a typical day. Just a typical Wednesday for you. But yeah, I didn't know about that for some reason, or maybe I did, but just I never like put it in practice.
You're not
And
a superstitious person anyway.
no, not really. I'd say I'm stitious, but I'm not superstitious.
You're a little stitious.
I'm stitious at times.
Yeah.
I definitely did 2 loads of laundry on New Year's Day. So if I just have a shit year, then we'll know.
We we loaded the dishwasher and ran it, but we didn't unload it.
Oh, you're fucked, dude.
So that's like half. So it's either the first half or the second half is going to be shit.
You're fucked big time. Um, yeah, so I guess the myth, or the not necessarily the myth, but this superstition is that, washing your clothes or laundry could cleanse you of any good fortune for the next 365 days. Doesn't say anything about a dishwasher. I 100% washed all of my clothes that day. So, maybe I'll be all right. Maybe I won't. We'll put it to the test.
Put it to the fucking
Just
test.
a little Mythbusters right here on Sammy and Marissa's husbands. I told you,
Lock.
new year, new pod. Um, but moving on, let's go into athletes. So I have the athlete today, and I'm going to give you your 3 hints. First hint, New York. Second hint, protege. Third hint, 25 cents.
New York protege, 25 cents.
Yeah.
New York protege, 25 cents.
Yep, those are your hints. You like me to repeat them again?
No, but I'm gonna probably say them 2 or 3 more times to see if it stirs anything up in my brain.
Yeah.
New York protege, 25 cents. New York, I'm thinking New York athlete, but it could be born in New York. Protege, did he have a protege? Was he the protege? 25 cents. I've got no idea. I've got no clue what that is.
Good.
Quarter. New York quarterback, protege of a New York quarterback. Or maybe his number was 25. I'm just I'm just gonna say Brandon Jacobs.
No.
Okay.
And now I'm going to take this handed in the Yingling I got, and I'm going to crack it anyway. And I'm just going to drink it at my own pace now. Thank you for that.
So that counts as one. Yes.
Counts as your guess. Yeah.
Is the person's number 25? I'm assuming it's an athlete
It is an
because
athlete. This is the athlete segment, correct? It is an athlete. The number is not 25.
Okay. Is it a football
It
player?
is football.
Are they a quarterback?
Our quarterback.
Was that the 25 cents thing?
That was the 25 cents thing.
Okay, well, I'm glad I got that. But I guess they're running back, so that didn't really make it.
You had it.
Protege. Are they a Jet?
They are Jet
Currently.
currently.
And they're a quarterback on the New York Jets.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor?
No.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Okay.
It is Aaron Rodgers. Would you like to hear what I was going with my hints?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Please.
New York, obviously, Jets. Aaron Rodgers was Brett Favre's protege, or other way around. He was a protege to Brett Favre. And 25 cents, he's a quarterback.
Honestly, my quarterback guess was gonna be Eli Manning.
Yeah, but he wasn't really.
Yeah, no. Even when he had I mean, he was pretty much a starter from day one.
The hint was going to be cheese instead of New York.
Cheesehead Packer.
Yeah, but I thought that would kind of give it away. You'd be like cheese, quarter, protege. Okay, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Mm, fuck it.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
fuck it, doesn't matter. Um, all right, so that is our athlete segment. Uh, I want to try something. It's kind of like a little game, and I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to have 30 seconds, and I'm going to ask you this question. I'm not going to ask it yet because I want to start the timer right when I ask it. You're going to have to get 5 out of the 8 of the top 8 of what I ask you. Okay.
And I have 30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right. So let me get my timer up. I won't start it. I'll tell you when I start it. So the question is the top 8 most watched TV shows of all time.
Okay.
All right. So if get one right, I'll be like, yep, that's number blank. Or I'll be like, nope, that's not on the list.
You think 30 seconds is enough time?
Nope.
You don't.
Nope.
Why don't we just do a minute?
I don't want to do a minute.
Fair enough.
All right. 30 seconds. Ready? Okay. Go.
The Sopranos,
No.
Game of Thrones,
Yes. Number 1.
Walking Dead,
Yes. Number 3.
Friends,
Nope.
Seinfeld,
Nope.
How I Met Your Mother.
Nope. Seconds.
Uh, how many seconds?
10.
Fuck me. Fucking Breaking Bad.
Nope.
God damn. What kind of fucking list did you pull?
2. 2 references. Okay. The first one was IMDb. And I think that was where the other list came from. But so Game of Thrones is number 1. Stranger Things is number 2. Walking Dead is number 3. 13 Reasons Why is number 4.
Whoever made this list is a jerk off.
I'm just saying. The 100 is number 5. Never heard of it. Orange is the New Black is number 6.
The 100 was like a fucking CW show.
Look, I don't know. It's just on the list. All right.
Are you sure this isn't this person's favorite TV shows?
No. Riverdale is number 7. And number 8 is Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, honestly, most of those I understand, except for 13 Reasons Why and the 100. 13 Reasons Why. I remember reading that book.
I think a lot of people watched it, for one, because they read the book, for two, because it was like a social media sensation, and like a few people watched it and then it was crazy. So like a bunch of people watched it, which is why I think it was watched. Like I know Sammy watched that show.
Yeah, every show I named should have been on there.
And maybe, but this isn't your list.
Yeah, it's some jerk offs list. What's the person's name?
It's not a person. It's
There's got to be a
IMDb.
person who, but but there's got to be like IMDb. I know they have their top 250 shows, which is done by a rating.
It's not top, it's most watched.
Is there a metric on there that they measure it by?
Not on here, no.
Fucking fake news is what that is.
Hey, look, I'm just reporting the news here.
I would have never got that.
Yeah, I know. I figured. That's why I wanted you to get 5. I knew you would get Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. I thought you were going to get Stranger Things. Then maybe Grey's Anatomy you might get, but that's why I didn't do a minute, because then you'd just be naming a bunch of random shows for a minute.
I would have been naming a bunch of shows and I would have got progressively more upset.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so utter failure. But it's okay. New year, new pod.
Yeah, new year, new pod. Let's scratch that game. I mean, I like the premise, but I don't like that I lost. I feel like it was unfairly stacked against me.
Could have been. Could have been. All right, but let's move to some current events that are going on. New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, we had a couple things happen. There was the New Orleans, what they're calling a terrorist attack. Did you hear much about that?
I did. Well, one, Jennifer and Bert and Teddy and Matt were in New Orleans.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that.
They were like on Bourbon Street like a day or two before that. Thankfully, they were in their hotel when all that shit happened. But
Jeez.
yeah, they were literally in New Orleans.
Yeah, so for those of you that might not know, I think everybody might know the premise of what happened, but basically someone drove a pickup truck into the middle of Bourbon Street early Wednesday morning, aka really, really late Tuesday night after New Year's Eve. And they killed at least 15 people. Some people are still in the hospital and like, care and stuff like that. Basically, he stopped after hitting all those people, got in a shootout with police, and he eventually died. Both the officers were wounded. Um, Come to find out, he had two coolers in the truck bed that had explosives or IEDs in them that thankfully never went off because that could have been even crazier. Um, he had a black ISIS flag in or on the vehicle. There's conflicting reports. Um, Now the weird thing is the guy's name is, I'm gonna butcher this, Shamsud Dean Japar, um, former U.S. Army veteran, which I think is pretty crazy.
He was born in
Um,
Texas, right?
yeah, he's a Texas citizen or whatever. Um, but the thing that's weird is that ISIS nor any other terrorist organization have claimed the attack. Um, so it's hard to say whether they behind it or if he was just acting individual. Um, but regardless, we've obviously been to New Orleans and we know how crazy Bourbon Street is all hours of the night, whether it's 4 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever it may be. I'm honestly surprised he didn't kill more people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. You think it could be like a false flag type of situation, like somebody else was behind it and he was trying to pin it on ISIS?
Could be. Um, but the thing is like usually those terrorist organizations, they claim everything, whether they did it or not,
Yeah.
because they want to look like they created the devastation.
Yeah.
So, him having the ISIS flag and then um, obviously, having the, Middle Eastern name, um, like I'm surprised that they're not claiming it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, of Middle Eastern descent, but I mean, he was born in Texas, like he's an American.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. 100% American citizen, serves in the US Army, all that stuff.
yeah, that's kind of wild. Um, and then I don't know if this is true, so I'm gonna lead with that.
Uh-huh.
But the guy who was in the Tesla that blew up outside Trump Tower, I heard that he served at the same base as the guy who did the New Orleans thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into that. Cybertruck, this is New Year's Day, like 8:30 a.m. A Cybertruck pulls up to the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas and basically explodes. It pulls like right up to the glass. So it wasn't even really on the street. Um, Basically, he had two large canisters of gasoline and a lot of large firework mortars in the truck bed. They still don't know how it was ignited. Um, Thankfully, no one has died, but seven people got injured. The driver who rented the vehicle was a active duty Green Beret.
Oh
So
shit.
he's currently serving. Well, was. Now he's dead. He was assigned a 10th Special Forces group out of Colorado Springs, and he was on holiday block leave from Germany. And then he was with his family in Colorado Springs, rented this Cybertruck, drove to Las Vegas, and like killed himself and tried to kill others, it sounds like.
I saw like the path that he took, like the map,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like he drove to the wrong Las Vegas first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's a Las Vegas, New Mexico,
Yeah, I think there is. And he probably just put Las Vegas in his GPS.
and that was like the closest one.
Hmm, interesting. But he sent like a very disjointed email to like I guess one of his intel officers that he's had a relationship with in the past. And it was kind of all over the place. And apparently this guy suffered multiple TBIs, traumatic brain injuries when he was in the Middle East. Um, Probably some severe PTSD. Uh, the FBI is saying that they're not related incidents, um, which is kind of hard because there is so many coincidences. A lot of people say, I don't believe in coincidences. Um, but yeah, so both served in the army, right? They both spent time at Fort Liberty in Fayetteville, which was then Fort Bragg. Um, Given he's a Green Beret, the other guy was just like a regular intel analyst, or not intel. I think he was like signal. So we did like a lot of communication stuff. But they probably in a normal setting, those two people would never interact. Um,
So
it's
that
just
could just be it- kismet that they were both there. Like, were they did they serve there
right.
at the same time?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, so it's just one of those things, people trying to connect stuff that probably isn't.
Right. I mean, Fort Bragg is the largest military installation in the United States. Like, it has the most people. Um,
Yeah.
it has more people than like most major towns. Like, it has like 60,000 people on it. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's 500 people at this base.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It's definitely interesting, but like I said, the FBI says they are separate events and that both individuals acted alone. They both rented their cars on Turo, the Turo app. Obviously, they both spent time at the same installation. Um, but truthfully, the guy in the Cybertruck, I think, probably just had like a severe depressive episode and just wanted to kill himself in like a very destructive way. And it just so happened to be the same time period that all this other stuff was going on. I hope they're not linked because that means there's some kind of weird thing going on.
Yeah. Especially now where everybody is some sort of conspiracy theorist or they believe something wacky, like you don't have to take that far of a leap on this one. You know what I mean? Like it makes it pretty easy to connect these two, even if there isn't anything.
Right. And the internet's going crazy saying
Yeah.
they all conspired because I'm pretty sure there was a guy, I don't know all the details about this one, but that tried to assassinate Trump on the golf course. Um,
Yeah,
and
that was a couple months ago.
that was a couple months ago.
It was after the one where he got the glass shards in his ear.
Right, right. So
Because he definitely didn't get hit with a bullet in the ear. There's got no fucking hole in his ear.
look, I'm not here. I'm just here to report the news,
Listen,
baby.
I'm telling you, he got shot at. That guy wanted to kill him, but it did not hit his ear.
Something hit his ear.
Yeah, glass.
And he put a bandage on. He's running around looking like Master Splinter for 3 weeks after.
Yeah, I mean, he would have damage to the cartilage on his ear. His
Yeah.
ear's fine.
What if he just rocked like gauges from now on? Like in the hole from the bullet, he just put a gauge in there and just rocked a
Yeah, I
gauge.
mean, he probably would if there was a hole from a bullet. There was no hole. That's my point. That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
that dude definitely shot a gun because there was he fucking killed somebody.
yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so there was all like this conspiracy trying to connect this guy to the same people because he also spent some time at their then Fort Bragg. But he was more so trying to recruit people to go over and fight in the war in Ukraine. Um, so there's just like a lot of people trying to connect dots that may or may not be there.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
It's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot. All right. Well, with that, let's take a break from current events and we'll be back. From the office of the two-time league champion.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, wait, my bad. I'm 1-9.
Restart, restart, restart.
Why?
You cut off at the start.
Ah, shit. Okay. All right, ready?
Yeah.
From the office of the two-time league champion. Oh, wait. Never mind. That's not me. I'm 1-9. Must have been thinking about somebody else. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Just wanted to point out that I did catch Trey's flub up of regularly scheduled programming, but I didn't call it out. Just want to let everybody know I did hear it. And thank you for that sponsored message from Corey Montgomery. I'm not sure. South Carolina Corey, I guess. I don't know what the video is, but I'm excited to listen to it. We were thinking about maybe playing it over the pod, but I don't want to give you. I know you already have reporters coming to meet you at work, so I didn't want this to become a nationally, targeted event where you have thousands of people showing up to the wood spot on Monday. So we're just going to keep it as is. I'll listen to it afterwards. I'll send a video to Trey as well so he can share in your fucking ignorance. Um, but other than that, yeah. What else we got? What else we got?
All right, so we're going to talk a little college football playoff. Final four teams remaining: Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, and Texas. Notre Dame and Penn State play Thursday at 7:30 with Notre Dame favored by 2. Ohio State versus Texas Friday at 7:30. Ohio State favored by 6. Do you have any predictions?
Give me Ohio State to win it all.
Ohio State to win it all. Okay. I think Ohio State looks the best. I think that's the safe pick. I would take Ohio State versus Texas -6 on Friday for sure. And I'm leaning towards Notre Dame over Penn State. I think I would take them -2. I like Penn State, but I think, they've had to play Boise, which we'll talk about in a second. That didn't really, Boise they're not that good. Notre Dame played a Georgia team that, yes, they were missing Carson Beck, but they still have Georgia defense. So Notre Dame still had to work for that one. But yeah, I like to see Ohio State play Notre Dame in the championship, and I like Ohio State pulling it out as well. They just look good, man. They look, their offense is unguardable.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ohio State, Penn State though. But
Okay, so you got Penn State over Notre Dame.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, a little Big Ten matchup. I like
I
that.
still got Ohio State winning though.
Yeah, I definitely do. Did you watch any of the college football playoff games this past week and weekend?
No, I was keeping up with Boise just for my boy Ginty, but
Yeah, so Boise basically got shellacked by Penn State. Ginty did not break Barry Sanders' record. He finished the season with 2,601 yards, which is still crazy, versus Barry Sanders' 2,628 yards. So he's 27 short. He still rushed for 30 carries, 104 yards versus Penn State, but it was a tough 104 yards. Like, they had nothing else for him. It was just basically GT just running straight forward into the Penn State D line. And he broke a couple, but not, to the extent that he normally does. But I mean, they were game planning for that. They knew that Boise is GT. Like, that's all they have. So, I can't really fault him too much. It would have been cool to see him break the record, but obviously he didn't.
well, it looked like they were putting 8 guys in the box when I was, like when I caught clips.
Yeah, no, it was all in. They were going to let them beat them passing the ball, but that's not their game. They live and die by GT, and they died. But also another notable game that I watched, Arizona State versus Texas, crazy game. Texas had an interception in double overtime to seal the win. It was a lot closer than I expected it to be. I thought Texas was going to roll over Arizona State. And I don't know if that's foreshadowing that Texas is really not that good or if Arizona State was just a lot better than people thought. There was a couple things that could have turned the tide either way. There was a targeting no call. So helmet to helmet contact, pretty clear targeting. I think, by any means, any other game, any other time that gets a flag thrown, they get a first down, 15-yard penalty, that player probably gets ejected. And now we're looking at Arizona State having a shot to kick a game-winning field goal. Obviously, that did not get called. And then also, Arizona State kicked a field goal. It was blocked. Somebody touched it with their hand at the line of scrimmage. The ball bounced. It went forward, bounced, then still went through the upright, which referees waved off at the time. It was called no good. But my question to you is, should that count?
Yes. So
Yes.
wait, explain to me one more time.
Okay. Arizona State's kicking a field goal. Texas D lineman jumps at the line, hits the ball as it's crossing the line of scrimmage. The ball continues going forward, but obviously not as much distance as it would have if he didn't touch it. It bounced, it hit the ground, and then bounced up, continuing to travel through the upright.
Oh no, then no, it shouldn't count. Well, that's just such an awkward play.
Yeah.
I would I would say no.
Yeah, I'm with you in saying no, that it shouldn't count because it was blocked, it touched the ground. But if the ball's blocked and it touches the ground, it's a live ball. They can pick it up and run it back for a touchdown. Or if Boise State, or not Boise State, Arizona State picks it up, they can run it in for a touchdown as well. Because if you do like a drop kick scenario, you remember a drop kick? I think Doug Flutie kicked a drop kick one time. The ball
Yep.
hits the ground, like a rugby style thing. The ball hits the ground, you kick it. If it goes through, it counts.
Are you sure you can advance the ball if it's blocked?
No. I think you can, though. I know that the defense can scoop it and kick it. Or
Yeah,
excuse me.
I just don't know. I'm just thinking because onside kick, right?
Right. Yep.
You can't advance the ball as the kicking team. Like you just
That's
get it
correct.
where you
Yes.
receive. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a weird scenario that I don't know. The last I heard, they were petitioning to you know, get the call overturned. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen. Things are going to
It's probably
continue.
written in the rule book.
Yeah, it's got to be written in there somewhere. Or if it wasn't, it is now.
I mean, football's over 100 years old. I'm sure. I mean, that can't be the first time that's ever happened.
I mean, could be
I guess.
first time for everything.
Very strange play.
Very strange play. I agree. But yeah, so that was definitely interesting. Another thing, Arizona State's running back Cam Scatabo said,
Scapegoat.
I think it's Scatabo,
I
but
think you're wrong.
okay, that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion. However, I'm pretty sure it's Scatabo, or Scatbo. But he said, I'm the best running back in the country. And basically, he's tired of getting, overlooked. And everybody thought he was delusional, including myself, because he's just like an average looking white dude. But he had 30 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 catches for 99 yards, a passing attempt for a 42-yard touchdown.
No, yeah, he's pretty good.
He went crazy. And I went back and I watched some of his like highlights, and the dude doesn't go down. He's like a freaking bowling ball.
How much does he weigh?
He's a thick boy. He's probably a good I'm just guessing here, but if I had to guess, he's probably 5'10", 223.
Big dude.
I need you to fact check that for me. I need to know. Um, but yeah, like so there was an NFL scout, obviously unnamed NFL scout, that said um, they don't know what position he'll play, whether he's a traditional running back, but the fact is the dude doesn't get tackled. So the name of the game is not get tackled. So obviously there's going to be a place for him in the NFL, is what they said.
5'11", 215.
That was close. That was close.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
mean, he seems pretty good.
yeah, no, he went crazy.
He's
Um,
still not as good as Ginty though.
no, I mean nobody had this.
Ginty rushed for 1,000 more yards.
Yeah, for sure. Arizona
I mean,
State's offense
he
is
had
a little more.
1,700 yards.
Yeah, Arizona State's offense is a little bit more diverse. They throw
Yeah.
the ball. Um, I would bet that Scatabo had a lot more receiving yards than GT had.
He had 605 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. And I will give you the numbers for my boy Ginty. For my boy Ashton Ginty. He had, oh yeah, it's not even close. Receiving yards, 138 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown.
I mean, truthfully, why do you need to catch the ball when you can just run it the whole way?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ginty had fucking 30 touchdowns on the year. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it was absurd. His season was crazy. Um, but let's move on from the college football playoff. I do want to talk about the fix to the bowl games that I think I came up with. So I think we should make it almost like basketball. You know how we have the NIT, not in tournament. Teams elect to play in the NIT. And it's basically for those teams that, have a bunch of seniors that aren't going to go pro and they want to play one last time, or you have a bunch of young guys that you want to get your team, you know, together and be able to play organized basketball before the next season starts. I think we should do something similar in college football, that if these teams want to play in the NIT, they can be in a bowl game. If you don't want to play, you just elect not to play. And then it saves us from, just these BS games where half the team's sitting out and the rest don't want to be there. And the coach might not even be there. So I think that's how we should do it.
I like that.
It's problem solved. It's fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Problem solved.
I'll message the board.
Yeah, get them on. I'd like to have a discussion with them.
Who would I talk to?
I don't know. I don't
I'll
know.
I'll send somebody an email.
All right, so let's jump to NFL. I don't have too much to talk about, but I do want to talk about the Saquon situation. That, obviously he's 8th on the list for rushing yards in a season. He needs 100 yards to tie. He sat out versus the Giants. So basically he did not try to get the record by Eric Dickerson. I'm cool with him electing not to play and try and break the record if it was his decision. But if the Eagles made that decision, I feel like that's kind of beat.
I don't think they made the decision for him.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. It's just whack.
Yeah, he did say this. He said, "I wouldn't be in the position I am without this team." So I think that's a pretty mature quote, and saying I'm not going to risk the potential we have to win a Super Bowl just to get my individual record, which I think is pretty big of him. I mean, he still had 2,000 yards on the season, which is crazy. Yeah. And truthfully, there would have been an asterisk by the record anyway, because
one more game.
They had one more game. However, his name would be in the top of the list in the record books. So
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so that's that. And then NFL MVP. I want to hear who you think should win NFL MVP.
Lamar.
Think so?
I'm a Josh Allen hater. Not for many. I mean, he seems like a genuinely good dude from like everything I've seen about him. But I'm an AFC East guy, and I'm a huge Lamar guy. So Lamar or Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold, I don't think has a shot. However, he did have a crazy season. Um, I'm kind of torn. I obviously see the case for Lamar. They're winning, which is a big factor in the award. I think Josh Allen is the emotional MVP. I think because the Bills haven't really been relevant. I mean, they have been the past few years, but it's been so long since they've been in that discussion. And then obviously he's like Superman, you know what I mean? And I think having him be that kind of like good dude that everybody talks about gets him emotional points. But I think if we just look at the numbers, it's got to be Burrow.
Are they even going to make the playoffs?
No, they did not make the playoffs.
He won't win it.
He absolutely will not win it. If they would have made the playoffs, he had a chance, I think, but they didn't get in because basically the Chiefs played the Broncos and the
And they
Broncos, yeah, they would have had to beat the Chiefs and they sat their whole team,
they
which
would have had to beat the Broncos.
the Chiefs would have had to beat the Broncos, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Chiefs probably played a little bit of a game because who would they rather play in the playoffs, the
Yeah.
Broncos or the
They don't
Bengals?
they don't want to play Joey B in the playoffs.
I wouldn't want to play Joey B in the playoffs. Um, Broncos are decent. They have a good defense. Bo Nix looks decent. He looks good. But obviously they're probably just going to be one and dones, which is fine. But yeah, so I think the Chiefs made that kind of professional decision to just kind of sit their entire team and let the Broncos make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Allen. I think that's who it's going to win. And then the odds also back that up. Yeah, so Josh Allen is minus 300. Lamar is plus 220. Joe Burrow is plus 2,000. Saquon plus 4,000. Sam Darnold plus 10,000. So Darnold's really a long shot, but I mean, technically you got a shot. But Vegas always knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they always do.
They know it. It saved me a lot of money if I just understood the fact that Vegas always knows a long time ago.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen his odds at the beginning of the year.
I would have liked to see that as well. I'm sure there's a way we can look that up. But
Probably we probably type in 2024 NFL MVP odds preseason
yeah,
and it would come up.
definitely. We could definitely do that.
I'm not going to,
I'm not either.
but
Uh
just letting our viewers know we're capable.
yeah, we're definitely capable. But a funny thing I saw, and I don't know if this is true or not, but Tyreek Hill has more kids born in 2024 than touchdowns.
I think that is true, actually.
I think he had 5 kids and 4 touchdowns, which if that is true, that is insane.
Yeah, he's out there.
he's out there, man. My man's working. He's busy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about catching touchdowns either if I was getting all that.
Hey, my man is working. All right, so let's move away from NFL and jump to a little
I would
college
just
basketball.
I would
Go
just like
ahead.
to say the Jets win a pointless game today and we hurt our draft stock.
Yeah, I know, man. Who got the first pick? Was it the Raiders? Pick? No, shit. I saw it. I saw it. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't.
know.
I'll find it in a second. But I saw they posted on Instagram that who should we take, Shador or Travis? And I'm like, why is it between those two? I don't think either of them are the top prospect.
I think Shador is the top prospect for quarterbacks right now.
The Titans got the first pick.
I guess they're not confident in Will Levis.
I guess not. I don't think Shador's that good. Truthfully. And when's the last time a corner was drafted number 1 overall?
I don't know if it's ever happened.
The only thing I can think of is maybe like Woodson.
Let me do a quick little search.
Little Google machine.
Little Google machine action.
Because I know that Travis, offense, defense, yes. Elite corner. I don't think there's a question about that. Receiver, I think he's good. Is he going to be an NFL receiver? I don't think so. I don't think his route, I think he's a freak athlete and he's got incredible ball skills. But I don't think, pause. I just don't see him being the guy that you want to get the ball to. And I don't think he's going to be cool with just being the guy that runs verticals every so often to just kind of take other teams' corners out of the game. I don't know. I don't like either of them as the first pick. I don't know who I think should be the first pick, but I don't think it should be Shador or Travis.
No cornerback has ever been taken number 1 overall.
Yeah.
So it won't be Travis Hunter. They won't do it.
They might.
Nah, they won't.
I don't know, man. I can see it. All right, so let's jump college basketball a little bit. I don't have tons. I just want to talk about how poor the Tar Heels are playing. We're 9-6, 2-1 in the ACC. We lost to Louisville last week. Basically played a must-win game against Notre Dame yesterday, and we were down 3 with time expiring. Elliot Cadeau, who can't shoot at all, took a contested step back 3-pointer, made it, got fouled. So he made the contested 3 to tie, made the free throw to win. We escaped by the skin of our teeth. Honestly, it was lucky. He can't even shoot spot up open jumpers, much less he's taking a contested step back to win the game. It's terrible, terrible, but whatever. He hit it. We're struggling. 6 losses, obviously. We lost to some good teams. Number 1, Kansas. Number 4, Auburn. Michigan State at the Maui Invitational. Number 10, Alabama. Number 7, Florida. And Louisville, an ACC team. That's not bad, but we should have won. Our offense is terrible. Like, we have no offense. It's just high pick and roll. Let's ISO and try and score. The only time we can score is in transition. Ian Jackson, who's our freshman 5-star point guard that's really playing small forward because we have RJ and Elliot Cadeau, is our best player. And I think RJ is butthurt about it and like taking more shots and not giving him the ball because he still wants to be relevant and be the guy.
Yeah, I was looking at the ACC standings like a couple seconds ago, and I was shocked to see that you guys were 9-6 because we haven't really talked about it too much. It's very subpar Carolina standard.
Yeah. Now, given, like I said, the teams we've lost to, 4 out of the 6 are in the top 10 rankings. So like we've lost to good teams and they've been close. So I think we're going to be okay. But like, how the ACC is, like at any given night, like Louisville, it's not a bad team. Syracuse, given their record, isn't, but they can beat you any given night. It's frustrating.
We suck.
Yeah, you guys kind of suck. I was going to get to that after. You're 6-8, 0-3 in the ACC.
We suck.
Yeah.
Our team is just not good enough.
Yeah.
a lot of these guys we have are graduate transfers who just want to keep playing, which is
Right.
fine. But they might be good pieces on a good team. But like to have these guys and want to win. I mean, Donnie Freeman's playing good. He's our 5-star recruit,
Hmm.
but we're just not that good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long year.
It's going to be a long year. I mean, it's just disheartening. I wanted us to be good so bad, but it's hard to be good when we have, our point guard and shooting guard starting. Elliot Cadeau and RJ Davis are both under 6 foot. This is Division I high major college basketball. Like you can't do that. And then Ian Jackson is starting at our 3 because Seth Trimble's out. And Ian Jackson's a point guard, given he's like 6'4", 6'5", but he's not a small forward. He's a point guard. That's what his position is.
It's still an undersized 3, so you guys are small as shit.
Yeah, and then we're starting. It's flip-flopping a little bit right now, but we got our new freshman Drake Powell, who I love. He's traditionally a 3. He's about 6'6", maybe 6'7", starting at our 4. He's a freak athlete, but he's a freshman that's way undersized, playing against, this is high level D1 basketball. You can't be 6'6" out of 4.
Yeah, it's who's y'all's 5?
Flipping between a few different players because our big man presence is so bad. But Jalen Washington to start the year, he's about 6'10", really like a face up guy. But all we do is get him to set high pick and rolls and roll to the basket, and that's not his game.
Yeah.
So we're struggling. We're struggling big time, and it's making me nervous.
No time like the present to start playing better.
That's true. All right, well let's get out of college basketball because it's going to make me depressed and talk a little NBA.
I got something to get off my chest.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm in an absolute barn burner with Kyle right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I drop Yabusele. Played good for me, but I needed a flyer. I pick up Corey Kispert. He's been playing good. Fucker gets me -3.
That sucks.
What the hell did I do to you, Corey Kispert?
He knew you were picking him up.
I was between him and Luke Cornett.
And let me
And
guess, Luke Cornett played good.
he had 9 fantasy points. Kispert got me -3, so that's 12-point swing. And it's probably going to cost me this matchup with Kyle.
Yeah. That's frustrating. Very frustrating. I am as well in a barn burner. Um, I'm playing Wes down right now, 962 to 673.
What the fuck?
So you think there's still a shot?
Who's your best player? Who do you
Anthony,
still have the
no, there's not. I'm down 300 points. There's no shot.
hold on a second. Who do you have to play?
Um, everybody's in either the game's over or in the first quarter. Anthony Davis is in the third, actually. He's got 16 points right now. He's my high scorer. Jalen Suggs is out. De'Aaron Fox is out. Yep.
So
Good stuff. Jalen Williams got me 10. Fred Van Fleet's in the third, has 8. It's good stuff. Fucking crushing it.
so you're cooked.
Oh, I'm cooked, chat.
Your season is cooked.
My season's cooked.
Good on you for keeping setting your lineup.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna set my lineup. It's easy with the quick lineup, but just every Monday I get a reminder on my phone. I'll just continue to set it. One of these weeks, somebody that's competing for a playoff spot is going to be pissed off at me because my team's going to play good and I'm going to beat them, and they think it should be a free win.
Well, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I got to be that guy.
You got to keep people honest. I do think next year we institute a last place punishment. Obviously, we can't do it now because you are definitely going to finish in last.
100%.
But next year, for sure.
No, I agree. I think last place punishments are good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to finish in last, unless there's Breezy and Tingo are 4 and 6. I'm 1 and 9. Uh, there's a chance.
You're cooked.
I'm cooked. Yeah, and then it's one of those things. I gotta let other people win sometimes.
This is your first year back in the big leagues, though.
Yeah, it
So,
is. It is. And I'm taking it on my chin. Taking it on the chin.
you thought shit was sweet.
Shit's sweet. Let's be real.
You thought.
Shit's sweet. It's just
Yeah,
it's just $100, right?
it's 125.
Same thing. 100, 125. What's the difference?
Is it 125? I'm not sure. All I know is you play with the dog, sometimes you get bit. You got bit.
There's still time. I think I can still win. I'm just sandbagging. Just sandbagging. That's all it is. But actual NBA, the real stuff, not this fantasy world that you guys live in. um, so I want to talk about Wimby, and I know you probably saw this, but through his first 100 games, he has 225 threes, which is more than Steph, Clay, and Kyrie through their first 100 games. 366 blocks, which is more than Shaq, Mutombo, and Hakeem through their first 100 games. 2,273 points, more than Allen Iverson, LeBron, and Kevin Durant. 1,053 rebounds, which is more than Andre Drummond, Anthony Davis, Karl Malone, and Charles Barkley. Are we looking at potentially the greatest player of all time?
I mean, if you could sustain those numbers for 10, 15 years, sure.
We might be.
You can't.
Why can't he?
So, something will happen.
I thought he was going to be hurt within his first 20 games.
My fear for him is injuries because he's so fucking tall.
Yeah. He
And
seems to take pretty good care of his body.
Listen, if he starts getting close to the king, I might just have to make something happen.
Yeah, just fucking go down there to San Antonio
and hands him up.
Yeah, that'll work for you.
I mean, let's be real. 7'5", 121 pounds, and he's a child. I'm whipping his ass.
I'd like to see that.
Well, I get killed. You wouldn't be able to get close.
No. I'd like to.
If I get a hold of a drumstick, though, he's fucked. He's cooked.
Oh man, drumstick like chicken wing or
his leg.
Oh, his leg. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, he's the stuff he's doing is insane.
I wish he wouldn't shoot threes though, honestly, because he can't be stopped.
No, but he makes them, dude. And that's the game we live in right now.
I don't like it.
Well, no, I don't like it because I don't like watching it.
Yeah, it's not as good of a product.
No.
Because motherfuckers are Steph Curry, and nobody is Steph Curry.
Nobody's Steph Curry.
Other than Wemby, I guess. But
well, yeah, you got to think about the game when Steph started. It wasn't, it wasn't like it is today. Steph wasn't shooting 12 threes a game.
Right.
So if it was the game and Steph just came in, like the amount of threes the number of threes he has is already absurd, but he would shatter that.
Yeah.
All right, but random questions, random cues. So my question to you is that if you had a kid and it happened to be a boy and that boy wanted to play football, what position would you want them to play?
Kicker.
Okay.
No brain injuries. I mean, realistically, probably receiver.
Yeah. So the most brain injuries?
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest to follow.
Yeah. Okay. Are you pro letting your kid play football if they want to? Or are you going to be like, nah?
Well, Marissa says no. I would say yes, tentatively. If they start getting a bunch of concussions and shit, then they have to stop playing.
Interesting.
Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You never want to be like, you can't do this, but I mean, it's for like a
Yeah.
health thing.
Well, right. Yeah. I'm in the, I guess, thought that the more you tell someone they can't do something, the more that they want to do it.
Yeah.
So if you just start out, it's like, hey, you're not allowed to do this, then they're gonna, backlash and want to play anyway. I'm gonna let my kids play football if they want to play football. Um, you know, what position they would play, I don't know. Everybody wants to do quarterback, I think that would be cool, but I think probably receiver. Just
It,
because that's
it's in our blood.
in our blood. Exactly. So I think, that's kind of where I would lean.
We
Is
got
like,
a we got an X and a Y right here.
yeah, we sure do.
Like,
No brainer. We could get a 7-on-7 team going.
I'll tell you what. You get me out there running Hunt Digs, it's over.
Oh man, good old Hunt Dig. All right, that was my first question.
Pull up the old note. The old note. All right. Cracker Barrel go-to order.
Cracker Barrel go-to order. What time of day is it?
Well, I guess this would be a satellite question. If you go at dinner time, are you still getting the breakfast menu?
No.
And I guess you can give me both if you want.
Well, I don't really have a set breakfast order, I don't think, from Cracker Barrel, but like lunchtime, dinner time, if I'm going to Cracker Barrel, it's chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak. Okay. I think Wes is chicken and dumplings.
That sounds like something Wes would get.
I always go breakfast there. I'm always going breakfast.
Okay. What do you get?
Grandma's sampler.
I like it. What comes on it?
It's like 2 eggs, which I'm getting over easy.
Classic.
Um,
You're not over medium anymore? I thought that was you were over
no,
medium guy.
always over easy.
I feel like I'm not making that up. I feel like you were over medium at one point.
Never. Um, then you get bacon and country ham or sausage. And I got country ham this past time. And hash browns or grits. I get hash browns. And then I get pancakes with pecans.
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 Pecans. All right. I like it. I like Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel's a good time.
It was just on my mind because we went there New Year's Day.
Interesting. I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in a long time, but if I do go, I'm getting country fried steak. Or no. Country fried chicken. Yeah. Not steak. It's country fried chicken. I think. Maybe it's chicken fried chicken.
I think they do call it chicken fried chicken.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
There is a country fried steak there too, though.
No, that's not what I get though. It's the chicken fried chicken.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's a good segue into a little last final commercial.
Last final commercial forever.
Breaking news. This will be our last podcast ever. Trey doesn't know this either until right now. I'm officially resigning as a partner in the podcast and will be continuing as the sole owner and truth sayer of said podcast.
All right. Thanks to our sponsor. That was some breaking news. I think it's safe to say that I disagree with the breaking news. So it sounds like we're in a bit of a contract negotiation. We got to check the NIL and see if we can get some funds swung your way.
Yeah, I need a pay bump.
Yeah, we'll work
Just
on that.
splitting it 50-50, the amount of money we're making. It's just not, I think I'm going to have to, it's probably going to have to be a 75-25 split.
Okay. I think, at this rate, I think we can do that.
It's, it, it's been recorded. It's law.
All right. I said at this point in time we can do that, but if we actually make anything more than $0, we'll have to renegotiate our contract.
Okay.
All right. Um, you know, we'll kind of you want to keep going with random questions, Pat's peeves, or do you just want to kind of close it out?
Let's just, I mean, I got two more questions if you want to finish it.
Okay. All right. So I'm driving the other day and I passed this car dealership and the prices are like paint markered on the windshields. And it's kind of one of those like used car lots, not very commercial by any means. And two of the cars had free written on the windshields. What do we think? I mean, they can't be free, right?
I mean, they could be junkers.
Right, but they'd still you can sell the it for scrap, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you'd still get like if you take a shit car to a junkyard, you're still getting 500-600 bucks.
right, because I mean the tires, all the metal, all the parts, some of the stuff on there has to work unless there's just like not an engine in them.
I mean, you take it like if you take it, not even I'm not even talking to like a pick and pull type place. If you legit took it to a scrap yard, they'll give you better money than if you took it to a car scrap yard because they're
Mhm.
going to scrap it from the copper and the motor's going to be so cast aluminum probably. So you'd make it's probably like no down payment free.
Yeah, but all the other cars are like $1,800, $5,000. Like it's not a expensive car dealership.
It's worth you going in there and asking. I think doing some investigative journalism.
All right, I'll come. Maybe next pod I'll maybe next pod I'll have a nice piece that I report on.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what we should start doing. Injecting some journalism into this thing.
Maybe, maybe okay.
That it? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah.
Is it actually free? Okay. Then the answer, I guess, is no.
Okay.
I don't think it's actually free.
All
And I
right.
will be, hoping for a response to that at some point.
Okay.
And this is also kind of on par with that. What is the biggest transaction that you've had via like Cash App or Venmo?
Um, biggest transaction. I think at one point we were trying to pay the down payment on our house, and there was something going on with my debit card. So like they couldn't use debit card or something like that. They didn't take Truist. Maybe that's what it was. And I needed to get the money to Sam so she could pay the down payment or whatever it was. And I think I Venmoed her, or not Venmo, because I don't have that. I'm not in college anymore. I'm an adult, so I have Cash App. And I think I cashed after like $2,000, but I think I had to
Okay.
split it up. I don't think it let me do that much at one point. I think I had to do it in like 500 increments, or maybe it was Zelle.
Interesting. So 2K.
Yeah, I think so.
Biggest transaction for me was I got paid $900 for a car
Hmm.
in Cash App.
Interesting. It was the orange bullet.
Yeah, and actually that's not even correct because I got paid $1,800 through Venmo for something this year.
Was it cans?
No, I wish it was cans. I made three. Oh, I never told you the amount of money I made at the scrapyard.
Oh shit! Breaking news.
$34.
Nice. That's big.
Yeah.
What did I say? Like $18?
Yeah.
Blew me
I
out of the
made
water.
34.
It's pretty good.
$3.50 for cans though.
Nice. If you made
Yeah.
like 3,000 or $1,800 out of cans, how many cans do you think you would have to have?
I had a spreadsheet. I took 350-ish cans one time and got $5. So if I divided 18,000 by 5, that would be 3,600. And I times 3,600 by 350, I would need 1,260,000 cans.
We could just start throwing them in your backyard, like no trash can. We'll just start like
Which
throwing
is
them.
the whole backyard.
I mean, eventually you'll get a million back there. We drink a significant amount of beer.
Yeah. The only problem is I'd have to pick them up again.
Yeah, and getting them there, that would be tough.
Yeah. So we'll table that and come back to it.
Okay, I think it's a good idea though. I think we got to figure it out. Um, okay. All right. I want to know your thoughts on leasing a car versus buying a car.
Mm, typically, I'm always for owning things, like as far as
Hmm.
property, because property is almost always an appreciating asset. You're almost always going to make money on property if you hold it.
Hmm.
But cars generally are a depreciating asset, so you won't get your money back ever
Right.
with, shit goes wrong, you're on the hook for it. If you're leasing a car, obviously the dealership will fix it. And when I was like in late middle school, early high school, well, most of high school, my mom leased a car. But for me personally, owning a car and not having a car payment is just all I've ever known, is just buying a car outright, which is, if you want a new car, not feasible for a lot of people. Not feasible for me to buy a brand new car
Right.
outright. So I would say if it's a new car you want, I would lease it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a new car or anything in anytime soon. I'm just bouncing around the idea because both the vehicles that we have are not paid off. We have car payments on them. Um, and I don't anticipate keeping them forever. I'm almost at the mind state where before I get to 100,000 miles, I'm going to trade it in as long as that trade in value pays off the rest of my loan and get a new car and then keep doing that thing over and over. So at that point, why do you not just lease? Because the way leases work is there's usually like a mileage agreement or amount of year agreement that you do, kind of like, leasing an apartment. And then after that lease is expired, you just then lease another one or lease the same one for another 3 years if you want. Um,
Yeah.
so you're still paying your car payment, you just getting the newest, nicest, fancy thing.
I just don't understand I'm not sure with the payment on a lease. I have no idea.
No, me either. I don't. I was just,
So
bouncing around the idea.
if it's cheaper than if it's cheaper than the car payment of owning the car, and it's something reasonable, then I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
It's likely not cheaper than owning because it's being rented. Just like, when you're paying rent versus a mortgage, the mortgage is typically going to be lower.
Not anymore. But yeah.
Yes, right. But like that's the premise of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about and we may explore here in the near future.
Yeah, keep me updated on that because I
I
would
will.
be see what the payments are on that.
Yeah, I will.
My last random question. This is also breaking news. Wes and Drew, on the 18th, you're gonna have to help me move my cousin Austin to his apartment. Um, segue into my question, what is the worst move that you've ever had to do? I know you probably haven't, because doesn't the military move you?
Yes, the military can move you. You can elect for that. Um, but if you move yourself, you get money for it. So basically, if I say, "Hey, I'm gonna move myself," I like put all my stuff in a U-Haul. I weigh that U-Haul empty, I weigh it full, and they're going to give me a certain amount of money based on how much I'm taking and how many miles I'm taking it. So when we moved from Missouri to Colorado, we decided to do it all ourselves because we wanted a little bit extra money. And like I think I got like $5,000 for it, um, which is nice. I mean, it was a lot of work, but we kind of were going there on a whim, and we didn't know exactly when we were getting out of our apartment and when we could move into our house in Colorado. So like it just ended up being, oh, in 3 days you got to be out of here. So we're frantically parking up our apartment. It's on the third floor, and I had a U-Haul parked down below. So I'm packing all of our clothes and things in bags and throwing them off the third story of the apartment into the grass down below to try and get out on like the last day with like 5 hours before we needed to leave. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's I would probably avoid that in the future.
Yeah, no, 100%. We've decided that the army is moving us every time. Now we might do like a partial to where, the army comes and gets like the couches, the washer and dryer, or the stuff like that. But like maybe I'll rent a U-Haul trailer for like our bed, because then if we get to our new place and the movers haven't come yet, then we're sleeping on the ground type thing.
And would you get partial payment if that's the case?
Yeah, it's all based on the weight and also how much weight the army takes for you.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'd say that was probably that was probably my worst one. That sucked.
Yeah, my worst one was definitely moving us out of our apartment that we lived in for 5 years. And I've
That
done some
was tough.
like when me and Marissa moved into this house, it it legit took 24 hours.
Yeah, I bet y'all. I mean, like you said, you stay somewhere for a long time. There's things that you think about that, or you end up having to move that you haven't thought about in those 5 years.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
And y'all
Like,
were on the third floor too, right?
yep, yep, it
You
was crazy.
toss anything off the balcony?
Stuff I was gonna throw. Well, it actually kind of worked out because there was a dumpster in the parking lot, like right, you know how there was those two buildings and then there was that
Yeah.
little storage shed.
Mhm.
It was like parked right there because I guess they were throwing stuff out. The complex was, and it worked out for us for stuff we had to throw away. So it was nice not having to take a trip to the dumpster.
That's true. Yeah.
But we got everything in a U-Haul. A, I don't even know if we did use a U-Haul.
Trips.
We had to have used a U-Haul of some kind.
Hmm.
We used that. Drew's truck. Bert rented a trailer, and I think maybe Wes came by and got some things in his truck too. Maybe, but we got it all in like one trip, I think.
That's what's up. It's
I
wild
mean,
though.
me and Marissa had to come back and get stuff, as
Yeah, yeah, smaller stuff. Yeah.
far as like big stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot. Moving sucks.
Yeah, I'm never doing it again. I'm paying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I won't. Fuck that.
Yeah, right. Um, all right, Pat's peeves. Uh, I played pickup the last couple days, and I like to go a little early and like do my little shooting around kind of on my own. Nobody's in there generally. I get to just go through, like, I have like a little routine that I do. It's nothing crazy. Just start in, work all the way out. And then one guy showed up early too. The entire gym is open, but he came and decided to, shoot on the same goal that I was shooting on. Cause like I know the guy, and like we're like kind of cool, I guess. But I had my headphones in and I didn't want to talk to him. I just wanted to do my little thing. And it It was fairly annoying.
So he wanted some type of connection,
Yeah.
and you were just being a prick.
I wasn't necessarily being a prick. I stopped, took my headphones out, talked to him for a second. And then when I felt the conversation needed to be done, I just put my headphones back in. And he stayed to shoot there for a few more minutes. And I think got the vibe that I didn't want him there and then went and sat back down.
That makes me uncomfortable, like thinking about.
It was pretty uncomfortable. And, then I like everything was going good. I was making shots. I was like in a little bit of a rhythm. And then he comes and all of a sudden I start missing shots. And I'm getting frustrated because of that. And then also, I don't even want to be talking to this guy. So it was a bad time.
That's super awkward.
Super awkward. And the whole gym was open. There's 8 more goals to shoot on. Like, go shoot on another one.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
My pet's peeve for the week is people who pick up their dog poop, they pick it up on purpose in the doggy bag and then leave the bag outside on the ground.
Yes. I hate that. I hate when people do that. I don't know. I hope that they are like setting it down and saying, I'll come pick it up later because I don't want to carry this dog shit around with me. I hope that's their intention. But if not, like, just leave it. I'd rather you leave it as shit so it can decompose than put it in a bag and now it's just sitting somewhere.
No, it's just fermenting into God knows what in that bag in the sun every day.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like you went through the effort of picking the shit up.
right.
Just take the bag with you 500 more feet.
It's very frustrating. I hate that as well.
I saw that today when me and Marissa went on a walk.
Just a little like
And
neon pink doggy bag just sitting on the side of the road.
I'm like, what? What if, and this one they didn't mean to pick up because they threw it in the woods a little bit.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
come on,
ridiculous.
fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, at least throw it in somebody's trash can that's sitting on the side of the road. I mean, we've talked
Yeah,
about that, but
yeah, we have. And granted, if it's an empty trash can, I'm generally against that, but I'd rather do that than leave it on the ground.
for sure, I'm definitely against that as well. But if somebody was like, I found them throwing dog shit in my empty trash can, I'd be like, hey, man, why are you doing that? And they'd be like, like, it was either that or I was gonna throw it into the woods. I'd be like, all right, whatever.
I no, honestly, if that happened, then I'd get in a real fucking argument. And I honestly would probably take it out of the trash and throw it at them.
Yeah.
Then,
I've seen people throw stuff out of their car window, like litter. And I've wanted to so bad. Like if it happened at like a stoplight, like get out of my car, grab it, drive up next to them and throw it back in their car. Like I hate when people do stuff like that. It drives me insane.
there was one time when we were on the boat, uh, Walt's boat, and he saw people litter, and he was like a pretty like I, I I wouldn't say he was like angry. I didn't live with him, but like he never really came off that way.
Yeah.
And I remember him freaking out at some younger guys who were like throwing beer cans in the water.
First of all, that's terrible. You know, like why would you do that? Some
Don't
people like it goes back to the people thinking they're better than other people. I don't get it. Like what makes you any different than me? Why do you get to throw your stuff out of your car window and I don't?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
People suck, dude.
Yeah, I agree. They're shit.
People generally suck. All right. Closing comments. I have a closing comment, and it's that when a former or sitting president passes, aka like Jimmy Carter passed, the flags have to fly at half mast for 30 days.
Yep.
And the funny part about this is that the inauguration is going to be within the 30 days. So when Trump is being, inaugurated, the flags will be at half mast.
One last parting gift from Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Good stuff.
You think he'll keep it?
What do you mean keep it?
You think it'll stay, or do you think he'll like throw a fit?
I think it has to stay. I mean, he's a former president that passed away. It's supposed to be at half mast for 30 days. And if he elects to, override that, I think he's a pretty bad dude.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Just keep your eye on that. We'll see how self-centered President Trump is.
No comment.
All right, dude. Well, until next time.
Peace.